Hello and welcome back to another Visual Basic tutorial with Hellfire 1997. Now this time I will be showing you how to make our invaders themselves fire their own shots down at you. This is actually the second time I've actually recorded this. The first time for some reason there was no sound, which is really quite irritating as I don't really have a lot of time to do record at the moment with all my exams, so really irritating when it actually fails. Now to start, we want to give our alien shots actually labels are still here from last time. Whatever the case, we basically want to do the same thing we did here. Get your label, we just want to rename it to whatever, like alien shot 1, and you just change auto size to false so you can resize it to whatever you want, and then you've just changed the back color to white and just remove a text from it. Simple as. And then you just make it whatever size you want. However, the labels from when I did it or tried to do it last time are still here, so you just want to do the same thing you did here, and in this case they're called A shot 1, A shot 2, A shot 3, which is basically short for alien shot. So if we go into our code, this time we want to have 2 new arrays. Now you may be wondering why I use arrays a lot. However, they are quite easy to use, and it makes it a lot easier to use large amounts of data for which you're basically doing the same thing. So first we want to do AI shot 11 as boolean. So this boolean, as you know, is a true or false value, and such as when we move our own shot here with a boolean value, we will have one boolean value set to each of our invaders' shot. Now boolean, when it is created, its default is false. So whereas for the rest of our arrays, like down here, we have to tell it to be equal to something, we've got to give it a value. Boolean defaults to false. So our second array, we'll call that AI shot 2, and again 11, because we have 12 invaders, as label. So this array will store our actual labels. So if we come down here to our subroutines, in fact let's just close up this timer for now, and these key presses, we don't really need them right now. So if we come down to down here, create a new subroutine, private sub alien shot array. And there's our routine. We've just grabbed the name of it and copy it in to down here, so that when it opens up our program, after it's been to this subroutine to create our alien array, it then comes to this subroutine for our next array. So now we want to make our labels on across here into this array. So I found this place again. We want to do AI shot 2 0 equals A shot 1, and we just want to type all of this out to get all our shots into our array. Okay, so here is our array. So now all these labels are in this array, so that when we come to move them, we can do the same thing as when we move our aliens and just use a for next loop. Now, one thing I did actually forget, last time in my failed video that have been able to put out, I also showed you how to stop our spaceship from going off the screen like that. Someone reminded me in the comment section, and thank you for reminding me that. However, so if we just come down, where did I put it? If we come to where we move our ship. Oh wait, it's in the timer section. Maybe I shouldn't have closed it up. So here we are. Here's the bit that actually moves our spaceship to the left. So obviously if left equals true, spaceship.left equals spaceship.left minus 3 along with all our shots. However, but whereas beforehand this part wasn't here and it would just move it to the left regardless, after it's moved everything 3 pixels to the left, it then does if spaceship.left is less than 0, then spaceship.left equals spaceship.left plus 3. So what it's basically saying is, if the left hand side of this picture box here goes out of this side here, so if it is less than 0, it will move it back 3 pixels to the right. So while our player may be holding the left button to move it to the left, regardless of the fact that left equals true, it'll move it 3 pixels to the left, but they'll move it 3 pixels back to the right because it knows it's not to go off screen. And it's the same here. When it moves the ship to the right, here we've had to do it slightly differently. If spaceship.left is greater than me.width minus spaceship.width, here what it is doing is it's taking me is the form referring to itself, so it's taking the width of the form and minusing the width of this picture box here. So what it is saying is, if the spaceship.left, so the distance between here, is greater than the width of the form minus the spaceship, then it will do this code. And this code does the same as what the other one does. However, when this time where ship goes too far to the right of the screen, it'll shift it back to the left, again stopping you from going off the screen as I showed you. Anyway, now we want to go back to making our invaders actually fire their shots at us. So we've created our array to move the shot, so now we want to create a new subroutine. So if we just come down here, private sub move alien shots, there we go. And once again we need to actually get to come to this subroutine, so we just need to reopen the timer, and we can just drop it in down here under the move shot of our spaceship. So that obviously this means every time the timer ticks over to come through all this code, it's going to come to this subroutine to move the shots. So with that. Now, to begin with, we don't want it to drop all these shots instantly, so we want it to create a random number and to see if it's actually going to drop all these shots. Otherwise it's going to drop them all at once, and we don't want it to do that. So we want to do for I equals 0 to 11, and then we've got our for next loop, and we want to do if AI shot I equals false, then So here, obviously, if this is already equal to true, then it's already going to be moving the shot down when we get to write that piece of code. So we want it to check if the shot is false already, and if it is false, then we want it to see if it should move it or not. So just remember, we need to create a new variable for this. Oh, it's still there from last time, from my failed video. Dim ran as integer, which that's basically just our random number there. We just need to tell it to be equal to a random number. So we do ran equals, I'll just copy and paste the code in. I can never remember this line of code off the top of my head because I always get the brackets mixed up. But what this piece of code is doing here, it's telling the program to come up with a random number between 1 and 1,000, and we want if ran equals 1,000, then I shot I equals true. Now you may think that a 1 in 1,000 chance of it dropping its shot isn't that much. However, you've got to remember this timer is going to be fired off every 10 milliseconds or every 0.01 seconds. So it's going to be firing 100 times a second. So if you think about it, that's about a 1 in 10 chance of it dropping its shot every second roundabouts. So that seems about a good chance to me. But obviously, if you create your own program, you can like modify that to be whatever. So now we can leave this, because all that's doing is we just want that to see if it's false. If it is, should it make it true? So now we want to make another loop for I equals 0 to 11. Oops. There we go. Oh, what have I done wrong? For I equals 0 to 11. Still not liking it. Oh, yes, because I haven't put a next in. Stupid me. Anyway, so here's our next loop. I equals 0 to 11. And this part is actually going to move the shots downwards. So we want if I shot I equals true, because obviously we want it to check if it should drop it first with this boolean. Then I shot 2 I dot top equals I shot 2 dot top plus 3. Oops, forgetting to stick our array part in there. There we go. So now if we run our program, start game, they should have a chance of dropping their shots. And wait a minute, they will be dropping their shots. However, I forgot to put in one small thing. Obviously we want this to be true, but at the moment these labels are hidden, and we want it to actually show the labels. Visibility false at the moment. We want it to actually show them, so we do AI shot 2 I dot show. This means they'll actually show the label where it's about to drop it. I forgot to add that. This time if we run it with that actually inserted, look, they're dropping the labels, but at the moment they're not actually doing anything to us because we haven't inserted a thing, and they're not getting reset because we haven't added resetting for them yet. But so if we close that, now first we should do if AI shot 2 I dot bound dot intersect with spaceship dot bounds, then so here like before it's seeing if any of the labels or any of the shots from the invaders hit our spaceship, then it's going to do this line of code. However, we've already got a subroutine for player dead, so we can just type in player dead, and then it'll come to this subroutine. So this time if we play it, wait for him to pop a shot, and there, you died, with a little graphic explosion there. So, and now we just want to get it so it resets the shots, because obviously once they've dropped below here, we need to tell it to actually come up back to the invader. So we come back into here and we do if AI shot 2 I dot top, oh hang on, yes, that's it, is greater than me dot height, then so what it is doing here is it's seeing if the distance between the top of the label and the top of the form is greater than the height of the form, then it's going to come to this line of code. So we want to, first off, we want to change the Boolean value to false. So we want to do AI shot I equals false. Oops. Helps if I can spell false correctly. So obviously that means that's equal to false, so it's going to stop moving the shot downwards. Then we want to do AI shot 2 I dot hide, and next we want to actually move the label back to these aliens. So we want to do AI shot 2 I dot location equals aliens I dot location. Now what we're doing here is we are referring to all of our other arrays, the aliens arrays, so it will move the shot back to its corresponding alien. However, at the moment it's just going to move it to top left up here, because it's going to make its dot top and its dot left value equal to the same dot top dot left value of our Space Invader. So to correct that, we can just put something along the lines of AI shot 2 I dot top equals AI shot 2 I dot top plus 50 odd. How big are invaders? Our invaders are 125, so if we move it up by 105, as our shots are 20 pixels big about, that should bring it down to here. And then if we just do AI shot 2 I dot left equals AI shot 2 I dot left plus half of 125, which is going to be around 62ish, minus 10 for about half the length of the label. So we're going to look at about, if we say about 52, and that should put it around this area here. So that's the labels reset. Now we need to actually get the labels to move with the aliens. So we need to come to our subroutine which moves the aliens. Player dead, level complete. Move alien shots. This is why it helps to have your code. Here we go. This is why it helps to have your code in order, because even in order it can be difficult to find the correct subroutine sometimes, and this is for a fairly small program. So we want here, it's doing aliens i.left equals aliens i.left plus move alien. So we can just do the same for AI shot 2 i dot left equals AI shot 2 I dot left plus move alien, and here where it's move down by 25 pixels we can just do the same again. AI shot 2 I dot top equals AI shot 2 I dot top plus 25. We can just drop that bit of code into here. Now if we run our program when it's built, start game, and it's all, oh wait a minute, okay, me being a bit of a dipstick, oop, I died, me being a bit of a dipstick there. Obviously this is going to have the same effect as if we had our own shot from the spaceship moving with the ship. This is easy enough to fix. We can just stick in an if statement. If AI shot I equals false, then AI shot 2 I dot left equals AI shot 2 I dot left plus move alien. So here it's just checking if the shot's already been fired, just like when we move our own spaceship, and we just want to do the same for the rest of our shots down here. If AI shot I equals false, then, and we just was sticking end if statement in, and if AI shots, why is it, oh right, because misspelt it, if AI shot, and we just want to do the same here. If AI shot I equals false, then I'm just stick another end if statement in. Right, this time it will only move the shots with the aliens if they haven't already been fired. So if we run our program, here we go, we've now, the player now has to contend with the drops of the aliens to contend with while actually firing back at them. And it's hard to actually tell at the moment, but it looks like the shots are getting reset, which is good. You can toy around with it a bit. There you go, it's dropping the shots. That's a bug I will sort out at a later date. However, for now, that is how we can drop our aliens shots. In my next video I will show how we can fix this bug of it to stop dropping the shots if the alien's been moved that far down. And I think if there's, yeah, I think I will. Along with that I will also show how to do a high scoreboard. So this has been Hellfire 1997, and thanks for watching.